Hey girl, hey, my name is Gina DeFord. I am the founder of Babe Crafted, and I am so excited to go live today with Kristen Diaz of Val and Vast and Remotely Balanced. We're going to be talking about the steps to take to hire for your team. This could be for a virtual assistant, it could be for any kind of contractor, part-time helper, expanding to full-time. So we are adding, of course, we want to hear questions from y'all as well. The more we can customize this conversation for you, the better. There she is. Hi, Kristen.
Hello, how are
How are
you?
you?
Good, good. Trying to make sense of my hair at the moment. She's frizzing
Oh my
out
gosh.
today. Oh my goodness. Okay,
It's
well,
doing its
she
own
is what she
thing.
is. Proud.
I get you. Yes, hence the ponytail today. You know what? We are just working what we've got. We're
Yes,
making the most of it. We're making lemonade.
absolutely, absolutely. And my vibe is like a Canadian tuxedo today. It's very
Love it.
exciting. Love it. So we're
Perfect.
just like, if the hair has to do something crazy, I'm already in a crazy outfit, so it just matches the vibes. It's all good.
Oh my gosh, too fun. Okay, girl. So first and foremost, before we dive into this conversation, let's talk a little bit more about who you are. Introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Tell us what you do.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I am Kristen Diaz. I am the CEO and founder of Remotely Balanced and Val and Vast. For today's purposes of the call, we are putting on our Val and Vast pants, and I am specifically a productivity studio that helps women create their own unique productivity style to escape the burnout and overwhelm that they may receive on a daily basis. I use human design, I use cycle syncing, and time management, all to help you create your own secret sauce on how to navigate your life in a spacious and easeful, juicy way.
Oh my goodness. Love that. Love that. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit more for anyone who is brand new to who you are and what you do. So, we're talking about up leveling your biz with new hires today. And I know that this can mean something a little different for every business. So, just remember that throughout our conversation, like there's no one size fits all answer. But we're going to dive in. We want to hear your questions. So, what are some first steps that you recommend a business owner takes before bringing on any kind of new help, whether it be a virtual assistant or any other kind of contractor?
Yes, absolutely. Whenever I work with clients and there's like, yes, I'm ready to hire you yesterday, when we get into conversations and discovery calls, I start to notice that I was like, do you have your SOPs in place? Do you even know what you want off your plate? And they're like, everything. I'm like, we got to get a little more specific here. And the best way, the best way, instead of saying all the things, is to do a time audit and to really go through your Monday and Friday, log yourself, time yourself, use Toggle, use Harvest, use whatever time tracking software you use for your clients, but then use it on yourself for your own personal gain, just to see where your time is going. Because that is going to be the biggest indicator of where you're spending the most time. And if you're spending the most time in something that you're not exactly excited about, you don't feel a fiery passion for it, and you're just like, it shouldn't be taking this long at all, those are the kinds of things you want to single out, because that'll tell you exactly what kind of um, hiring you need. It could be part-time, it could be full-time, it could be a legit employee, or it could be a contractor like moi. And that's such a great first step, because it's also putting you in the mindset of, okay, this is what it looks like for my business. This is what outsourcing is like. But also, here's a time audit of like what I'm doing personally and what I want to make more time for. So that also gives you another incentive of, hey, I want to hire a VA just so I can also make more time for me personally.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay. So first and foremost, welcome to all the new fantastic people who are tuning in. And I want to recap what you've shared so far, Kristen. So you mentioned time audit, you mentioned SOPs, and then you also mentioned like really figuring out what it is you're looking to offload, delegate. So can we talk a little bit more about this time audit? Hi, Lorena. Thank you so much for saying, hey, girl, hey. Welcome. So, and you have a time audit lead magnet, don't you? This is something that people can snag, and that could be like their first introduction to not only what you do, but also taking that first step.
Yes, I do. And it's actually based off of human design. So there's this workbook that I have, and this workshop that I have is actually through Remotely Balanced. It's called Time by Design. And what you essentially figure out, one, is what is your human design type and what does that blueprint look like? But you also learn some really great ways to implement your own productivity style based off what you're already high wired to do. And you find alignment as well as conducting a time audit for yourself, which really tells you, hey, these are the things I need to let go of also in the name of your design. Because a lot of things that we try to force and push are actually against what our alignment is. So doing a time audit, especially through your human design, is really going to pinpoint very quickly what do I naturally show up best doing versus what can I delegate and get off of my plate immediately.
Yes. Okay. And so I want to ask for the fantastic ladies tuning in, what is one thing in your business that you know you're spending a ton of time on and you'd love to outsource? Would so love to hear what that thing is in the comments. So while you're sharing that, so we talked a little bit about the time audit and how that is how you're going to figure out what you're going to be delegating and whittling down that list for, okay, I'm going to delegate XYZ, and then you can figure out who you want to hire. Can we talk a little bit more about SOPs?
Yeah.
Tell us what those are for anyone who hasn't heard what an SOP is. And can you give us some encouragement, to make that process not sound so intimidating, because it's a big job.
Yes, absolutely. So SOPs are your standard operating procedures. They essentially help whoever is coming on board and learning new systems, these things that you don't want to do anymore, they're learning all of these processes. Your standard operating procedures should act as pretty much you in a written or video form to help your person that you're onboarding really get immersed into the task and kick off running. I actually messed up that metaphor and I can't remember what it was. But kick off running, that's what we're going with.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
SOPs
You know what?
really do. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gina.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, we know exactly what you mean, girl. So carry on.
Yes. So SOPs can actually be a lot easier than what we think. So when we think of SOPs, we think of writing like 5-page documents about a social media process. And we think, oh my goodness, this is going to take forever. How can I do this on top of everything else that I'm doing? And that's where a lot of people get really hung up, is, deciding that you need a person, you need some help, right? But then also making the time to get that person in and put your business in shape for whoever comes on board is just really easily implemented. So there's one absolute piece of software that I absolutely love. Like obviously we have AI now, which could be very, very helpful. But I also use a website software called Tango. And essentially what it does is that you pretty much record yourself as if you're recording a Loom or a Zoom video on how to do something. And then what it does is that it extracts that information, writes it up for you, and includes screenshots of each step for you. So
Wow.
you pretty much have the entire template there. You might have to make some little edits here and there because it doesn't know everything, or you want to include your own notes specifically for your business. But it is such a game changer, and it really helps take that 2-hour space of trying to create one SOP into a 20-minute process.
Yeah. I'm laughing just because like when you were saying that 5 pages of process, like it is, laughing out of just like the idea of not having to like sit alone in an office just for hours to record all these things anymore. Like, I really love that you recommended that tool. I'm not yet familiar with it. And if anyone else has heard of Tango, please feel free to let us know. Like, do you want to try it, or have you tried it and does it work for you? Okay. And so if you have this awesome tool and you know that it can save you a ton of time with documenting those SOPs, what should we document first?
Ooh. Well, what you want to document first, I would say you want to document what your brand guidelines are. If you don't have that already in a PDF format, if that's not already available to you, you really want to speak to your brand. You want someone to come in and understand the voice, the
Mm.
aesthetic, the fonts, all the things in one place. So I would record how to use your fonts, your logos, your colors, because that's something whoever comes in, it could be a VA, an OBM, they're sending emails. They need to know how to create the banners for those emails. They need to know the language, how to say things, especially for social media, the graphics, everything like that. So anything that's front facing to a customer because or a client, because that's probably why you're bringing someone on board, is to help you with the nurturing and the client journey, while you can focus more on your operations on the back end. So it's very important that your new hire understands your brand out the gate.
Yes. Okay. So, and I know that like branding and colors, I mean, it seems like it'd be obvious of how to use it, and where to use it, but it isn't. Like, we don't want to we don't want to make any assumptions that someone is going to know exactly what we're looking for. So we had an awesome example shared in the comments, and I was just scrolling up to just confirm. So from Sophia of the Style Studio. So she said that what she would want to outsource is social media, captions, anything writing related. So that is a sticky point for her in her business. So when you were saying like where to begin, you know, it depends on what you're going to be outsourcing. So she'd want to document some of her social media processes and preferences, right?
Yeah. So also apologize if you hear that robust music happening
Oh,
outside my window right now. It's a Bushwick and the weather's beautiful, so everyone's playing their music. But
yes.
yes, so the first thing that she would probably want to create is a brand voice guide, which a lot of the ladies might be familiar with, because I know Erica Holmes does these
Mm-hmm.
guides for brands in Babe Crafted. But you really want to nail down how someone should be saying something, and even down to what emojis you use often and how
Yeah.
you use them, how frequently, because those are the kinds of things that make you stand out and people look for when they're really digesting your copy, no matter where it is, emails, social, anywhere, even down to your signature. Like, these are all the things that need to be documented. But if someone's taking over copywriting, a brand voice guide, SOP, needs to be in there. That's a non-negotiable.
Right on. And if anyone else has any questions that you want to share for Kristen, or if you'd like to be, you know, work with us and be kind of like showcased as an example, if you will, like, let us know what you're looking to outsource. Let us know what is taking up so much time in your business, and we'll get Kristen's eyes and ears on it. So we talked about some first steps to take before you hire someone. Can you talk a little bit about what to ask during an interview? Like, how should that process go down, and what is most crucial to ask?
Yes, absolutely. So I always recommend face to face. If you can't meet them in person, do it on Zoom. That's very, very pivotal. So you can see how the person talks and just vibes with, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the questions that you want to ask are all the normal ones, like, tell me about yourself. Let's look through your portfolio if they have one. What was your biggest client challenge? But the things that you really want to pinpoint as well are time management, how they approach prioritizing certain projects in a certain time frame. So what I always like to do as well, and this can be done on a call or it can be done after they pass your first round, which I call the vibe check. The first round is always just the vibe check, making sure that what they say on the resume and the portfolio checks out. And if they make it to the second round, there's a challenge, because you want to see if they can back up what they say.
Mm-hmm.
So I always like to ask them, what was your biggest challenge, but also putting that to the test. So if it's social media, for example, and Gina, you went through this process with me, we had someone create content for you, and then she blew it out the park, became your intern. Absolutely exciting. Wonderful stuff. But you want to test them and challenge them on what you're going to give them, because you want a taste of what they're like first, and you also want to make sure that they're paid. That's also, before I even accidentally skip over that, make sure that you pay them for this challenge. That is very important. as well, because you're getting free pieces of content without a contract. Make sure you pay for the challenge. But that is something that I always make sure to do, just to test their skills. This is very important. But then I also ask them as well, excuse me, is what do they like doing and what do they not like doing? Because especially if you're hiring a VA or if you're hiring a more permanent employee, you want to know what tasks to not put on their plate. And if that is a negotiable factor for you. Because if one of the things that, let's take Sophia, for example. If she's talking to someone about hiring a copywriter, talking to this copywriter, and this person's like, I hate writing social media captions, but that's like the one thing Sophia needs. It's not a match, not a good match, because that automatically tells you like this person can't do the one thing that I need them to do the most. There's plenty of fish out there. There's so many of us out there. You can find somebody, and that person may just specialize in email writing specifically, because every copywriter has a niche as well. So that's why those questions are very, very important to ask. What do you like to do? What do you not like to do? Because you're also determining what their niche is specifically. Because you can say, oh, I'm a social media manager, but these days, that could mean a million things. That could be, I specialize in TikTok, I specialize in Instagram, I actually only do strategy, I only do consulting, and I only manage content, or repurpose. Like, it could mean 5 million things. So you want to make sure that you're asking those 2 questions, what you like and dislike, because that also helps you put into perspective what can they do and what can't they do. Because you also don't want to hire them and be a tyrant of a boss and asking them to do things that they don't like to do all the time. And you don't want to feel like that. So those are my interview golden rules. Challenge, what do you like? What do you not like?
So helpful. Like, what a great breakdown. And I love that you said that, really having them to produce a piece of work so that you can see you're getting that experience of what it's going to be like to work with them before you work with them. And also having it be paid, like making sure that, okay, and it's comparable to the rate that they, would be making if you hired them, and letting them know, like, okay, this shouldn't take more than X amount of time. Like, you don't want them, if something's supposed to take an hour, you don't want them to spend 5 hours on it, because that's not going to bode well for you down the road when you are fully working together. Wonderful. So okay, once we figure out what we're going to be delegating, we go through the round of interviews. Let's say we have 2 candidates that are really top notch and we're not quite sure who to move forward with. Do you have any tips on how to narrow it down to that one person who's the fat fit?
That's a really good question. So when it comes to that point, if it were me in the shoes of me having to choose, it's a tough one. Both of them are really good. It's really hard, but it comes down for me also where they're at, like remote wise, like, because all of my contractors, anyone that I've worked with, has always been remote, always been virtual. I never ask them to be in front of me. It's, you do your thing, as long as you're good at what you do, that's all I care about. But sometimes having someone in a specific time zone is much more preferable than someone who lives halfway across the world, because that's something that you need to think about for your time audit. It's like, okay, do I have room at 8 p.m. at night if I can accommodate someone really amazing in Australia? Those are the kinds of things I then want you to think about. It's like, okay, this person is my type on paper, as they say on Love Island, but what does this look like outside in the real world, on the outside? God, these Love Island quotes are just like coming at me well today. But anyway, what's it look like on the outside? That's what you want to start thinking about. It's like, once it's implemented, are they able to do a weekly call? What time zone are they in? How do they prefer to communicate? Because if someone communicates maybe like exclusively via Slack and you hate Slack, why are you both going to change up doing something that you don't like? Those are the kinds of questions that you want to start asking yourself, but also asking them on that second round interview, after they do their challenge. Being like, guys made it fantastic, but let's talk about how this is really going to work and what tools you prefer versus my tools. Because if like I'm using Asana and they don't like Asana and I'm not open to leaving my platform, it can also be a point of contention. And also that's not only just a point of contention, because maybe you are open to moving to a new platform, that's great. But then that means you're taking time again to learn a whole new platform. The person you hired has to build that platform and show you everything. That's taking away the time from what you originally hired them for. So thinking about little things like that and asking them questions about, how do they work? How, like, do they like the things that I use? Are they proficient in the things that I use? Do I have the time to teach them if they're not? Because I love them so much and I want to bring them onto the team. Sometimes that works. Just you really vibe with someone, this person's going to be a great fit. They check all the boxes, but they might not know how to work Kajabi. It's not end all be all. Like, you don't have to be like, no, but just think about that. It's like, okay, we need to record an SOP for that. That is okay. And Kajabi is very user friendly for the most part. So very easy to go ahead and hop on and learn and take that time to walk through that with somebody. So that's where I would say that second round is. And especially the biggest question of all, what do they want to get paid?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big second round question as well. I like to ask it on the first round just in case, because you want to make sure someone's within your budget, because sometimes people change their rates depending on, that first initial call. So you want to make sure that they're getting what they asked for, but that is also within your budget, because don't break the bank, don't go into debt for someone. You can find someone perfectly suitable at the budget that you're looking for. Or maybe it's time to talk about investing a little bit more, raising that hourly rate just a little bit to really accommodate a person that you really, really love. That's really going to take your business to the next level. So then that price increase will matter nothing in the next 3 months, because you'll be able to pay it 10 times over with their help. So that's also something to really think about as well. Money, what does it look like on the outside?
Absolutely. So much good food for thought, like really great questions to ask yourself before you go to hire someone, and then how to find the right person and, bring them onto your onto your business island. You've been making so many Love Island comments, and now I'm doing it. So can you talk a little bit about how to source candidates, like how to find this new hire?
Absolutely. So you have powerhouse agencies. I saw Megan Coe joined the live. Hey girl, she's amazing. Her team's incredible. You can hire specialty agencies like that, or Jamie Van Kuyk, recruiter extraordinaire. You can not order them. You can work with wonderful women like that and their teams. You can also work with me, as I'm a matchmaker. I train and VAs personally and make sure that they're certified under my name. And so I match them based energetically. So make sure that it's all aligned. Oh my gosh, I just lost my complete train of thought. It's a Tuesday. What I meant to say is that energetically aligned with your human design type and theirs, plus whatever it is that you're looking for. I have someone out the gate ready for you that has been trained personally by me, so you know that it's legit. So you have agencies, you have matchmakers. Matchmakers don't call themselves matchmakers. I just call myself a matchmaker. I'm sure they call themselves something else. But there's also VA agencies like myself that can also help source and find people for you. They might have them already. They might go and recruit them. There's plenty of ways to go about it. And also post on social, guys. I am telling you, Gina found her intern. I found my intern. Also, Amber found her intern via TikTok. Put it out there. Put it out there for everyone to see. Someone will know somebody. Like, if I saw someone was looking for a social media manager, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I know like 5 people. Let me put this in their inbox. Don't underestimate the power of your community in finding someone. Someone is probably already following you, just waiting for that chance to be like, that invitation to be like, oh my gosh, yes, that makes sense. I love what they do, and I would be so happy to work with them. I've done that a few times, and that's worked for me in gaining a few new clients. So don't underestimate the power of your social media community as well. So you have plenty of help out there. Just figure out what you need to delegate, time on it, and record those SOPs and then take it to whoever you feel like can really help you take it home.
Absolutely, absolutely. So for the amazing gals who are just tuning in, welcome, welcome. We're so happy to hear you, see you, have you here with us is what I meant to say. So we are going to be publishing the replay of this awesome Lunch and Learn to our Instagram feed, and I'm sure Kristen's going to be sharing it as well, so you can really soak in all of the awesome tips that she has shared with how to prepare to hire, a virtual assistant or contractor, and then how to ask the right questions and narrow it down to the right candidate who is perfect for you and for what you need them to do for your business. So can you tell us, Kristen, where can we learn more about you and how can we work with you?
Yes, absolutely. So you guys can follow me, and of course, the link in bio will send you exactly where you need to go if you're interested in one-on-one coaching with me to figure out, what is my productivity style? What does outsourcing look like for me? How do I do a time audit? I can work on that with you. We can do one-on-one coaching. Or if you're just like, Kristen, I need to look at a whole year of what I've got going on. I need someone to sit down and plan with me so that I can see exactly where I need the help and when. I can do that for you too. And then obviously the matchmaker, where I already have ladies lined up to help you. Once you know what you want and need, come find me. I'll match you energetically on your type so that it is an aligned, wonderful, beautiful fit that will last. So that's how you can find me. That's how you can work with me. And always feel free to slide in my DMs. I am always talking to new people. I love meeting new people. So come on in, say hi, what's your win of the week, and we'll take it from there.
Right on. Thank you so, so much for everything you've shared today, like for all of your awesome encouragement and your really awesome tips that can be directly applied to any small business. You're a rock star. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We are rooting for you. Have an awesome rest of your day and stay boss, everybody. Bye.
Bye.